Alright, squad. Thane gang. Thane gang. Oh, what dungeons? Oh yeah, I kind of want to try Priory on this guy. Making sure the characters are ready. Have the right talents? I mean, like, probably. I wanted to mess around with these ones, actually. Um, really keep that. Extra stops. I need to get a couple more enchants for my new avoidance gear. Ooh. Oh, it's not even enchanted, man. One ring enchant. Need food enchant, chest enchant, and bracer enchant. That leech. Wow, 10% leech. And 13% avoidance. Okay. That's what I want to run? I think it is. Seems chill. Oh, I don't have disrupting shout. Disrupting shout. I mean, like, I guess you could drop this, right? Probably could also drop Blood Surge. Like, do you need the Rage Gen? You have so much Rage Gen. I'm gonna try this. But low-key, I'm thinking you could drop this. Here. Yeah, this looks fine to me. Like, I'm missing out on a little move speed. I'm missing out on this, but it's not. I guess I'm missing out on this. Where did I pick that up from? Intervene is one. I guess Rally is another. Here's the third point I could get.
Wait, that's crazy. I came back and I'm still in the loading screen. Maybe I should close it.
I just Alt F4'd and it worked when I logged into a character.
Okay.
No, I missed. Take this out and you move it there, and you take this out. What's this? I don't want to drop. No way that's worth though. Like, Rally does suck. Fresh haircut. Yeah, we got the not quite a fade, but we got the haircut. Was it yesterday? Something like that. I can't remember. Everything's a blur. Who knows? I had to go outside. You know how it is. It was rough. We did it though. Look good, thank you, thank you. I'm ready to slam PTR key though. So ready. Talking about Priory nerfs. Apparently they've nerfed some things in Priori. What else we got? I assume they haven't changed much in Floodgate. Floodgate seemed like kind of kind of fine though. I want to get Priory. I want to see what they've done in Ecodome. It'll be good. Good, surely. Only one that wants to get back into WoW left at the end of the Legion, but don't want to pay full $50 for an expansion that's more than halfway done. That's fair. I mean, it is. I mean, they usually do put it on sale sometimes, but yeah, just a flat drop of the box price would be good. When was the last sale? Like the War Within sale? I think it was recently. The last time it went on sale, I mean, so they had a sale just before the last patch. So maybe they'll do the same thing and they'll put it on sale in like a week or two. Was that?
I think the Fury buffs are actually pretty good.
Was it Blade Storm and their cleave is better? So
yeah, it's like 10% more on their like cleave scaling.
yeah, because we can't let them hit 8 mobs. That would be too OP. He actually got in. Need to drop the box price for big match so it's free. You still need to pay for the subs. That that is true, but I based on their last timing, it looks like it was like just before, like the week before the patch. So maybe end of July they'll put it on sale again in like a week or two. I'd wait it out and see. It's possible. That would be good timing. I mean, it makes sense to them too, right? Like the most people are more likely to come back right at the start of a patch. So maybe they'll put it on sale. Going Prot Warrior next season since my pocket healers are going Mistweaver. Oh, let's go. Fizz Comp gang. Fizz Comp supremacy. Dude, the Thane buffs were apparently insane. We're gonna play some Thane today. We're gonna go Thane gang, baby. Moving internationally right at the start of August, so I'm gonna lose out at the big start of the season. Oh no. Yeah, when cross, not realm, server. Yeah, you know, EU to NA play when. Come on. Come on. Let me play with my EU friends. You can give streamers keys to boost player. I think they do. I've seen a lot of giveaways recently for Mists of Pandaria. So I guess they're not giving away War Within things, but they do give streamers a bunch of stuff out to give away. Saying hang out the boys on Galley Myth right now. Ooh, hopefully you guys get it down soon. I believe. Little last second CE. Or Casmodon. Gang, rise up. Let's go. Shout out Warcraft. Shout out. We need, just kind of, do we have a Magus? Do you have a Mag? You still in load screen hell?
Yeah.
Let's go.
And the problem is, you had 2 characters that you were swapping between,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I was going from 1 to 1.
This, yeah, because it says you're online actually.
Oh no.
If some melees would stop griefing lines to maximize uptime, oh no. The melee brains are... It's overwhelming, okay? It's just, they constantly just hear zug, 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 zug. Every time a pull is going, they can't help it. Gonna go bear tank. Guess I'll just wait for the next expansion at this point. Yeah, hopefully there's some good stuff coming. Well, I mean, they're doing the whole thing. I mean, they announced the announcement already, but it's like what is it, like 2 weeks after or 3 weeks after the patch or something like that? I think it's 2 weeks, right? Let's see. Midnight announcement. Yeah, here. They already announced the announcement. August 19th. Yeah, so like literally like 2 weeks after the patch. Oh. 1 second. So yeah, August 19th they're announcing and they're dropping the actual cinematic. The Giga cinematic. Yo, Monarchy with the resub. 43 months, holy, let's go. New day, new PTR tuning, a new ask. Am I still fine for DH for stuff? Yeah, I mean, DH, I don't know if they shadow melded Blizzard aggro or what, but you know, they're vibing. They're just existing, you know? No one notices them. They're hiding. Midnight watch party. Am I allowed to stream this? Actually, wait. I don't actually know. I actually have no idea if I'm allowed. Next expansion would be like end of 2025. No, beginning of 2026 is what most people expect. Most people expect like spring or late winter. So like think like Marchish, I think is what people are expecting. First in a while, we signed to be the meta tank for that season. Well, maybe. I mean, hey, listen, if they keep buffing Fizz DPS, you'll just play something else. Who knows? But yeah, I am low key surprised that they haven't done anything to Vengeance. I think a lot of people were. I mean, myself included. I was saying, I was like, I'd expect them just because historically they've every season they're like, hey, there's a meta tank, nerf that guy. Stop saying that they watch you. They definitely don't watch me. It's okay. You're safe. You're safe. Ventures is in load screen hell, man. Did Bancher get in?
Did I?
I don't know. It says he came online again on my screen, but
Oh no.
Demon Hunter Tank is just fun. I'll play it even off meta. Yeah, I enjoy it.
Before and try and log on my hunter again. I'll work out.
Your hunter does still show as online too.
Oh god. I'm creating clones.
I enjoy it. I know it's not for everyone. I do hate the threat bugs or just the finickiness of getting threat on Demon Hunter. It's kind of annoying, but I do enjoy the spec. Did Hunter get nerfed bad or is still SA tier? We're gonna find out. We're with Banchers, so he's gonna play some Hunter today. We're gonna see how it is. Assuming he can log in, because currently he's in load screen hell. Learn to hate pug rep paladins like the plague. It's fine. Oh no. How's Bear looking with those buffs? Well, at least the tier set actually does damage now. Now there's statement from last week where they said the tier set was too good with Lunation CDR. could maybe make sense, except they buffed it after they said that by 2.5 times, by the way. Smile. So I don't, dude, they keep making these statements and it's like, what do you mean? It's like the statement of like spell block being too complicated. It's like, that's not the reasoning you should have gone for, because then you could point to like 12 other abilities that are just this as complicated or more so. It being like too nichely powerful, is that how you say it? I don't know. Too powerful in very niche situations and useless otherwise, like that's maybe a justification, right? Then like saying like, oh yeah, the Elun's Chosen tier bonus is too powerful when it was kind of mid, and then you just made it awful, and then you had to buff the damage output by 2.5 times after that. Crazy. I don't know. They need that's crazy. They put boomies in the dirt. Did that actually put boomies in the dirt? Here, let me pull it up. These were changes that were already in, right? But they just didn't announce them before, and they put them in before. Where did I went over it? Because I think I heard you saying, right, like they reduced the storage and they reduced the duration a bunch, but now they just actually announced that they did this. One of them, okay. Duration wasn't known yet. Let's go. I mean, these guys were pissed anyways, right? The dryads. I don't know. Or is this I assume this is the dryad. I don't actually know. I can't read, you know? Dead to the chickens. Amen. Hey guys, listen. All I'm saying, chickens, giga nerfed, right? Lightsmith Paladin, giga nerfed. Ret, up. Guardians back on the menu. Let's go. Let's go. Based on how long you have to send the 2 star surges. So does it wait? Does it matter then? Like, does that make it irrelevant? I guess you can't pool them for later or something, but like, that's not like a damage loss, right? Can't hold them for, yeah, okay, so if you were like holding them for specifically a damage amp, or is or you could amp them even more, is what you're saying? Getting back on the menu, getting those boring restaurant in the world. Not Elun's Chosen. I'm talking about cat weaving. Okay, listen, cat weaving is sick. I won't be accepting any cat weaving slander. When Blitz starts to watch you tactics, you're gonna be switching tanks every season to make the game look balanced. I already switch tanks almost every season. Okay, I already do that. Where is it? Kaput's Guardian Druids. I mean, they're not dead. I mean, this is a buff. It needed a buff. This tier set was awful. It did like nothing, and then they nerfed it last week for no reason. Well, I'll play it today. We'll see how it does. But Elun's Chosen damage is already terrible too, so I don't think this will fix it. It'll make it less awful. Shout out. Can't more at 30. I see. I mean, yeah, so you can't do this feedback loop with it then, basically is what they did. Bloodman getting tired of catching strains in a Frost and a Holy. Hard to get it. Yeah, that is weird, right? Because this was this the extension? It's in the other notes, isn't it? I can see what it was before. I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, no, it's not. Where are the other... Was it further down or something? I hear. Well, yeah, you caught the mastery nerf on the 2-piece, and here it is. You don't have Blood Beast extension anymore. I don't know if this is this net neutral or no, because they just got rid of your Blood Beast extension and they added. I don't know
I
what
think
this
you could
does. I
team up
assume it's.
without me. I don't know. I'm just in purgatory.
I'm just going over the notes and the vibe.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It is weird because like blood DK damage isn't like crazy or anything. This nerf feels weird for blood. Like, why are we nerfing this for blood? Very odd. Want Ursoc Thrash Shield back? Yeah. I still, I mean, I'm gonna rant about this for sure, but like the fact that they did that massive health scaling increase in this expansion and then at the same time nerfed these attack power scaling abilities and then never touched them the whole expansion when they've had 0% pick rate is crazy. Like the number of Guardian talents that have negative pick rate this expansion is wild. Like after the Wildfire and Ursox got the same treatment where they got nerfed on top of the health scaling changes, which was a double nerf essentially, and you've just never picked them all expansion. Makes me sad. Mages are perfect just the way they are, never change. Yeah. Classic mages hero class, baby. So they nerfed tier and put power in the base class or something, right? Yeah. I can see how this would be less interesting though if they nerfed how the tier functions. But it is what it is. Fucking hero class. Down with mages, amen. Want to prop out tankiness buff? It hasn't actually been too bad this season, I will say. Because of how there's like they've kind of shifted slightly away from like just melee damage. Like season 2 was like the pendulum swung. Season 1 was like magic tank busters. And then they were like, okay, let's get rid of them. The pendulum swung, all melee damage. And now it's like slightly correcting this season, it feels like, where there's a lot more bolts. Like all 3 of the Shadowlands dungeon are very bolt heavy. There's a lot more dots and tank debuffs. So, obviously you have Floodgate, which had the soldiers, had Big Mama, had like the 3rd and 4th boss. But also they're adding debuffs to Dawnbreaker in the whole middle area. They added a dot debuff to the end of Arakara. Halls of Atonement has the bleeds throughout, and then the last boss as well. So there's a lot more of that damage type as well, which Paladin is good against, right? Paladin is weak against melee specifically, but having all these additional bolts and having all these additional dots is actually really good for Paladin's durability because they're just good against that damage type. So that is something they're just passively gaining without any buffs or nerfs to them because of the dungeon pool change, which is nice. No idea what to do with Blood DKs. Nerfing it so bad it will not be played by anyone, and they'll rework it to a brain dead easy tuning class. I mean, is Blood DK hard to tune? I mean, I guess like it's hard to tune it to be well in Mythic Plus, right? I guess that's fair. But I feel like, am I crazy in that I think the solution? Where's Blood DK? It's just who cares? Well, I guess one, I feel like they should mess around with a either CDR on Rune Weapon with your first scythe, or 100% Rune Weapon from your first scythe instead of just they gave up on it at 25% and went to Bone Storm. Like that's one thing for sure. I also feel like they should mess around with like a choice node somewhere that makes you tankier in AoE. Like I know they tried with Bloodied Blade, but it just like didn't work well. I feel like they should try a choice node somewhere in here. Maybe on Purg. I don't know. Just to make you tankier in AoE that you wouldn't want to take in a raid environment or something, Like just specifically targeted at making you tankier in AoE. I don't know. I feel like they just need another thing. Something like that. I don't think it would be that weird. And then you pair that with the Deathbringer changes, I think it would be good. But I'm stupid. Uncap Soul Cleave, fix VH threat. I mean, it would definitely help, right? They also just need to actually make Throw Glaive do a billion threat or something, and Sigil of Flame do threat when you're out of combat with mobs or whatever. Fixing both those would be nice. Because, yeah, I mean, threat is definitely a bigger issue when you're not playing Spirit Bomb or, yeah, because that is the uncapped AoE threat, which is very nice to have. But Spirit Bomb, like, hits like a little baby right now, and you don't play it in half the builds because you're buffing Soul Cleave with, like, your tier and stuff, and your hero tree. Still mad they nerfed Frostfire Fire to the ground pre-War Within release. I was so expecting to play Kata-style Frostfire Bolt Mage. Yeah, it's a cool idea, right? Like mixing up the specs a little bit when you're weaving in some frost spells. I don't remember what happened to it though. I kind of forget. DPS spec, you know, I don't pay attention. Or above Vengeance, 400%? Surely. Played a key on Blood Decay, and this tier set, there's no option to track the tier. It says Vampiric Strike increases room weapon by 20% for 8 seconds. There's no buff or anything. Really? That is odd. It's also just, dude, buffing pets is just an odd effect too, by the way. Can we talk about that? Why are we buffing pets? Fixing things, not just buff all thread gen again. Yeah, you know what? I don't know what I was thinking. You're right. Guys, let's increase the tank threat modifier by 8% again. That'll work. Smile. Fix Soul Cleave, I'll play fucking Spirit Bomb. Play Spirit Bomb. Nah, Spirit Bomb sucks, man. You're living in the past. Spirit Bomb's dog water. Amen. What tanks are feeling the smoothest to play in raid testing so far? I don't know that there's any change in tank gameplay in the raid. What I mean compared to this season. So like what I mean by that is like pretty much like all the hero specs that were good in season 2 remain good in season 3 for most tank specs. And so it's like, let's see, like Guardian, for example, Zero the Claw, if you like cat weaving, still good. Paladin's probably still gonna be playing Templar after these changes, so Templar, it's still good. What else? It's probably still Fellscarred unless you have to hold meta Feldeff for things, then you play Eldraki, you know what I mean? So it's like they all kind of feel the same. I guess it's Sanlean in raid. What else? Prot Warrior's the only one that might have just gotten a swap where it's Mountain Thane over Colossus, maybe. But I'm a Thane Gang enjoyer. Let's go, Thane Gang, rise up. Said an oof or feels good then again. Yeah, if you enjoyed how a spec felt to play last patch, it's probably the same. You're gonna enjoy it still. If you didn't like how a spec felt to play last patch, you're probably not gonna like it still because I don't think it's changing. Just lazy straight up not a damage on safe. I mean, it's definitely not beneficial. Spirit Bomb is literally just a I can't hold threat, so I'm gonna take this button. I wouldn't say it's like beneficial really at all to have Spirit Bomb either, right? Like literally the only benefit of Spirit Bomb is slightly better AoE threat. That's it. Just play better or something, and you can hold threat, smile. Or sometimes you'll still lose threat on the one singular mob the Arcane Mage is owning. Woo. Woo. Had a guildie ask how VH builds threat, and had to pull up a fucking PowerPoint yesterday. Let's go. How do you feel about the patches of buttons of bolt cast with turn and tank? I mean, yeah, we were just talking about this actually. So it definitely, it's like the pendulum is swinging slightly back, right? So like you had season 1 where it was just like every dungeon had a billion magic tank busters and they cast so frequently. And then they were like, okay, we're gonna make this easier, guys. It's just all melee damage. So season 2 was like all melee damage. Who had a bolt cast? Do they even exist? I don't think so. Very minimal magic tank busters, very minimal like dots and stuff like that. And now it's slightly corrected. So it's not like season 1, but you have like 3 dungeons which have a bunch of tank targeted bolt attacks. They're not like giga bolts for the most part, at least in my testing, but they do exist. And then you have a bunch of dot damage and tank debuffs as well. So I think it's good to diversify the tank damage intake. I think it's really helpful to Paladin and Blood DK specifically to have those kinds of debuffs in play as well, because you know, they're just better against those debuffs compared to raw melee swings. You don't want to go all the way back to what season 1 was, right? But it is good to have a mix. So I think it's generically a good thing to have diverse damage intake. Every fake the buff Soul Cleave needs the buffs Soul Cleave and Spirit Bomb. Oh yeah, I mean, like, Spirit Bombs is outscaled basically by all these amps. Yeah, it needs either to be affected by some or all of them, and also just, yeah, just some love. The only reason Felskard even takes is because it's in their hero tree to proc an extra ability, right? Like, they don't actually want to press Spirit Bomb. Kind of sad. Feel Spirit Bomb, man. Want so badly for Blood to be fun to play, but it feels like you're on a knife's edge and anything over 15. Yeah, I really enjoy it in Raid. Like, I really enjoyed playing both Sand Lane and Deathbringer in Raid. You know what I mean? I had a good time. You felt immortal. You felt like a Blood DK. But in Keys, yeah, it's so stressful, man. It's so stressful. I'm doing by complicating my APL with a talent nobody is tanking, never losing threat against massive target counts with problematic specs, not losing damage versus the highest players. What do you mean? I mean, look, there's a reason nobody runs the talent. There is a reason. The complications is not making it better to play. You know what I mean? Playing a tank that feels godlike in Raid and Paper Mythic Plus. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, VDH is so thick right now. Like I've been saying, like, usually between seasons, Blizzard like looks at the meta tank and just like drops them down a bit. And I'm actually quite surprised they haven't done that to VDH. Granted, their damage is kind of falling off compared to some of the other tank specs right now. Like their other, like, Brewmaster is doing crazy things, Prot Warrior is doing crazy things damage wise, but they're still buffing magic DPS, right? So it's, and the only other thing that does that is with Guardian. So if it's a magic meta, like it's been in the past, historically, and I think cast GPS are looking solid, VDH is right there, just as tanky as it's been all season 2, which is very tanky generically. There's a couple of healing reductions that are pretty large this season, but you can, one, deal with like a limited number of those pulls with your CDs, right? You can plan around it, and 2, you can avoid a lot of those mobs anyways, so I don't think it's really going to be a problem. Are you insane damage? Yeah, have you seen the new Thane? Yo, Thane gang! Thane gang! Thane gang! How you played the no breath CDR build for Brew? It's nuts how sustainable and the damage puts out. Makes 0 sense, like 70% passive. The yeah, where you are playing Rushing Jadewind, right? Yeah, I played that a little bit. That's, it doesn't even, the crazy part is it doesn't even feel bad. Like, I'm a Rushing Jadewind hater. You know what I mean? Like, through and through. I am anti-Rushing Jadewind. But because you also just cut Breath of Fire in that build, it actually doesn't even feel bad. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, Ox popping off. No Spirit Bomb feels better. Nobody has proved to me. What do you mean by feels better? I would argue it doesn't feel better. I would argue it feels worse to not have Spirit Bomb. because you don't have an uncapped AoE ability. But you just get +2 talent points for not playing Spirit Bomb, and Spirit Bomb does no actual damage in any real scenario outside of Giga uncapped AoE, which is where it's like better damage-wise. But you just get +2 talent points for not playing it. And if you can still maintain threat without it, then what's the loss, right? Again, like, if every top-end player is not playing it, that should say something. But maybe he made it in. Saying. It's fine. Only 10% of the time with the hunter nerves. Talking about Shadow Priest. Oh, what happened? Did they nerf Shadow Priest? Where'd this go? What are they? LMNOP. Go. Oh yeah, they did nerf Shadow Priest. Okay. I am curious where Rhett lands in all this. If they put big modifiers, popping souls for extra damn, just make it a minigame within it something. Current state, it's useless. No Spirit Bomb, sims slightly lower. Yeah, it depends on target count, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're doing Giga AoE, like, yeah, obviously you're going to be able to hit all the targets with Spirit Bomb, so it's better in terms of damage. Watching Drogo play S Priest early, he's bumping. Oh, I mean, I don't think the nerf. So I think S Priest, what they're saying, it's around an 11% nerf for Shadow Priest. I've got linked. What's this? What am I being linked? Okay, so we got an Hunter in here. What we got? Yeah, this is an Hunter link. Post 10% nerf. Is this post 10% nerf? No, this was pre 10% nerf. Why would I get sent this? Oh, I got sent this because they only took 10% off of this. Okay. Cool. And 2 targeted sims lower beats me. Who knows? But also, I mean, again, it's just +2 talent points, right? Like, you're just gaining 2 talent points. Very powerful. Talent points are valuable. Especially when it comes to Mythic Plus, damage doesn't really matter. Like I said, Spirit Bomb is going to win in damage and AoE, right? I keep saying that. It's not real. I mean, it is exactly 2 talent points. One of them has to be spent in tier 1, right? But you still have another talent point in tier 2, right? Mythic Plus, Avenged S tier, War and Monk A tier. Where do you put the other 3? I don't know, because the issue is like it's also a little bit dependent on how the other specs are looking, right? I think they're probably a step down, right? At least you got Guardian, you got Blood, and you've got Paladin. was talking about this, but I think Paladin and Blood do have slight gains from just the dungeon pool because there's more bolt damage and there's more periodic or debuffs on tanks, which both those specs are better at. But I don't think tuning wise those specs are doing anything crazy. And obviously, like Paladin's a defensive buff, it's like fine, but it's not like mandatory or insane. Blood Decay has no buff, and then Druid Guardian has Druid buff, right? But who knows how the other Druid specs are looking. And this was a pretty big tuning pass they did. Where is it? Like I don't know exactly what all this means. I did check if Judgment was still bugged, and it was. Let's go. So that bug still exists. Thane Warrior is blasting. Like, it is doing an insane amount of damage. I kind of expect this to be nerfed, but we'll see. 2.5x the talent or the tier bonus that was apparently too powerful. Smile. And then apparently Blood caught some collateral nerfs. Feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. %10 frost. Oh, the frost mage. Yeah. I don't know. What were they running before? Were they frost fire? Were they this? I don't even know what they were running before. I remember at the beginning of the patch, people were talking about Frostfire Frost. I don't know how substantial these tier nerfs are, though. To any of the mages. I'm too stupid. Still in hell. Crazy. I have these new pots. I have to put these new pots in all my cars, actually. What trinkets am I running? Okay, nothing that needs to be actually tracked. I'm kind of scared to switch characters and see if I get stuck on a giga load screen. It could happen. It could happen. I fear. I want to try and go on my I'm still online too. Wait. Shit. I just noticed my druid, which was the character that was bugged, is also still online. That's crazy.
Dang. I wonder if like when I made my character or when I logged in, I like snapshot a bunch of broken characters. And I'm just stuck like this.
Is Wagon also still stuck? It's him that said he was on the list. I wonder if all those characters are just bricked for a while. Have you tried making a new character or no?
Yeah, and then it also bricked.
Oh no.
I made a second hunter and I tried getting on my druid. And both the new hunter and the druid also bricked. Oh no.
Okay. Multi-boxing live on stream. Is multi-boxing illegal? Like, I don't. I remember they did something. I thought it was still allowed, but I don't remember. Oh, you can't like have one input or something. Listen, don't report me, okay? No more 8% monk buff. Yeah, they took that away, which makes sense.
Like
That
the
was not the way to
Tamaring
solve
one.
that. You know what I
Let me
mean?
get this straight.
Would just hurt Fizz DPS. Can't clone inputs. Yeah, there we
Oh, it
go.
said you came online.
Surely it's the real pictures, not a bot. Oh yeah, we're still running as zealots. Let's go.
That's funny. And if you need me, I'll be right here on the load screen.
Not able to control multiple engines in the game with a single input. There we go. You can't report me. Can't report me. Get owned. Oh, wrong button. It is crazy. Yeah, all these characters are just bricked. So Banchers is bricked, this guy's bricked, and Wagon's bricked. Not ideal. Not ideal, I will say. Have they posted Mythic Plus tuning yet? No, they haven't. They just haven't. It's just a surprise again. Great. It's just a surprise. Woo. Yeah, only war within dungeons. Yeah. What did I want to do in this guy? Priory. Do a little 14 or something. Do I have MDT? Probably not, eh? I should just do a 12 because I'm. Oh, bank changes. Wait. Are the bank changes in? Oh my god. That's so funny if it is. Someone in my chat was like, what if it's tied to the bank changes and you're just bricked while your character's trying to generate a bank?
Oh, is that real?
Oh. I do have a
Oh yeah.
ton of stuff
Yeah.
in my banks.
My druid is my character with a ton of shit. That's my bricked character.
That's 100% it. I have like a full void storage on my hunter actually. I think
Yeah.
they deleted that, right?
Yeah.
I put like all
Holy.
my Legion legendaries in there, like all
Yeah,
the items
same.
that, yeah, all those things.
Holy.
Maybe if you take it out on live and then try to recopy your guy, it won't brick.
Yeah, maybe.
I have a new cook for Mythic Plus to make certain classes viable. Okay. We're cooking. Haven't heard anything about VH balancing. I don't know how to feel about this close launch. Yeah, we were just talking about that. It's like usually between seasons, Blizzard like knocks the meta tank down a few pegs so they aren't meta 2 seasons in a row. Outside of the season 4s, obviously. But they haven't done it this time. So very interesting. Very interesting. Dude, it's gotta be the bank stuff, right? Well, let me log into another character. Let me log into another character and see. My Brewmasters doesn't have anything. So Okay. No issues. I'm running this guy right now. Yeah, they put rushing Jadewind on the slot where I had Breath of Fire. It's so free. Popular and needed keys get automatically distributed to the least represented classes. Dawnbreaker, the easy peasy run you only get. Oh, there's no way. Stop cooking. Nope. Stop cooking. I hate it. I hate it. Ban him from the kitchen. Ban him from the kitchen. Everyone gets to play it. No. What just happens is you play with the same comp. And you just are mad that you are almost never seeing Dawnbreaker. That's what actually happens. I do think buffing War and Brew is a good step. I don't think VDH is broken good. Maybe light self-heal nerf so much as they just more consistent than the other tanks. Yeah, I mean, like, damage-wise, like, Vengeance's personal damage is, like, already falling behind other tanks, right? Like, they're not crazy in that department. But they do buff the casters, which most other tanks can't do. And so if it's a caster meta, which more often than not it has been, that's a benefit. And yeah, they're just insanely durable. They're good. Like, their only weakness right now is large healing reductions consistently. And there are some large healing reductions this season, right? There are. But they are not in such a way that you can't, like, avoid a lot of them or just have enough CDs for them because there's not, like, you don't have to play a ton of them in a row, you know? So I think Vengeance will be fine, even though there are some healing reductions this season. What actually happens is if you play a rogue, you only ever get to play with people hunting IO, and you only ever get to play Dawnbreaker. I mean, yeah, if they're constantly getting Dawnbreaker, that's the other problem, is those people never get IO. But yeah, no, we don't put that back in the oven because it's burnt. But yeah, we'll stop cooking that one. If you're a prop pal, one day the vest, next it's dead. Well, it's not dead. So the thing with prop, I mean, I can go do some dummy stuff with it now, but basically prop paladin, they murdered Lightsmith, right? But they also fixed all the bugs, or most of the major bugs for Templar, and Templar is fine. Like, Templar output, it's chill. It's fine. It's not great. It's like similar to now, you know, where it's like middle bottom damage paladin, and you're playing Templar. But you're also just a fucking paladin, so you have a metric ton of utility. And the Mythic Plus damage intake is better for you this season because of the additional buffs or debuffs, dots, and what's it called? Bolts. Those all are better for paladin this season, which is nice. You also have more stats, which is nice. You're having more crit synergy, and you have obviously more mastery, more haste, which is nice for defensive purposes. What was I looking at? I can't remember now. But it's fine, basically. Like, I would put Paladin in a similar spot to where it is now. Slightly better position in Mythic Plus in terms of durability, just because of the damage intake adjustments in those, like, situations where those damage intakes are relevant. And that's without even really getting buffs in that department. So laggy in this area. Is there another AoE dummy area? I guess Stormwind, that's just as laggy. Ironforge doesn't really have AoE dummies, does it? Let's go to Ironforge, though. See. Let's just see. Belarus? Where's that? That's over here, right? How many AoE dummies? I thought they only had like 3 dummies, or maybe they have 4. Can't remember. Should have pulled back the claim DK as a raid buff.
I like the fire main
Yeah,
changes are actually really good.
Interesting. What are they? What? I just saw they nerfed like all the tier sets and then gave some flat buffs.
Yeah, but I feel like that's disproportionately
Oh yeah, I wouldn't.
a big buff.
It's mage, you know. It can't be bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't the pyramid. Oh, I can't go to the pyramid. I'm alliance. Oh yeah, I'm in Borales. Let's go see. The dummies are like right over here or something, right? Yeah. The 4. It's a quad dummy. Okay, I've seen worse. It's a triple. Cause what?
Chokers also looks really good.
Yeah, well, they got like a 10% nerf or something today, but still powerful.
Yeah, but they also got like tier set buffs. And their app damage is better.
S priest plus R druid. Let's go. Log in.
Honestly, sounds pretty good.
Rebuff P-Pal, please. Oh wait, I wanted to test Lightsmith. I have to run really far away, don't I? Wanted to see Lightsmith Mythic Plus. Because I'm pretty sure we got fucking owned. Right. Oh, okay. Off that guy and wait a sec. I guess I can just repeatedly heal myself to CDR this. Oh no, wait. There we go. I need to use those. Holy, not again. Ah, flashbacks. Oh no, not good ones. Okay, what exactly did they do? Okay, so this one, crazy. Can we make it 40% now? We're only letting us spawn one anyways. Why is it 40%? First off. Second off, okay, that's a good fix. Lesser weapons should recast on the... Okay, this is good. Because before they had the old rule, or they had the weapon rules, where it was like prioritizing pets over you and DPS. And then Bulwark, I think this was... I don't remember if this was like where the... Oh, I think this also followed the same rules. Yeah, when normally it doesn't. Yeah, okay. Hammer and Anvil was not using the correct value. This could be anything. This could be a nerf or a buff. Who knows, man? But they still also didn't fix Judgment proccing Hammer and Anvil, so we're mad. Anyways, we're good. Let's hit the mobs. Bang. 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 Oh, it's interesting. So it doesn't... I guess I spam and it's like instantly gives me those. That's interesting. Okay, I didn't... But now there's... Before, you were definitely prioing hitting that in AoE, and now that you're only going to get one cast, I'm not convinced that you would. You know what I mean? Because it's only going to give you one stack now, no matter what. So that still doesn't consume. Which is fine. It maybe be cool if the procs also used it, but that could maybe be worse for your damage, because you're just spitting out lesser weapons at this point. I should spit that out. Oh, I haven't dropped a consecrate because I'm dumb. Here we go. We hit our thing. And wings to send weapons out. I mean, my damage is very piss. This is actually bad. Buff. Well, to be fair, I'm buffing people that aren't hitting. Yeah, it's so hard to test this in a not actual dungeon. It's so hard to test this on dummies. It's so hard. Because, like, you're getting such terrible value from your weapons going to all these randoms or NPCs that are not hitting anything. I just have to actually test this in the dungeon. Here's more. P-War does not do more on single target. All right, I've tested P-War on single target. This is also after I was AFK for a bit. Skill issue, true. True. I'm also not scaled up in an instance, right? I'm 703. Almost do more single target current patch. Again, I'm 703. Also, there's no way. You do not. There's no way. Which one? Interesting to see Reddit talk about the latest PTR changes. Everyone says utility, and it seems like no one has a clear definition on what that means outside of Res and Lust. It's also just funny because people overrate utility so much. Like, people are like, oh, Vengeance is meta because of the stops. Boomkin's only meta because of Beam. But then you see Fizz comp with neither of the specs doing the same key levels or -1 key level. And it's like it's so obvious that it actually has not, like, you do those pulls because you just happen to have that utility. You're playing those specs because they're busted damage wise. You know what I mean? Like, you're playing the highest damage specs. And you just deal with whatever utility you have and you route accordingly. But people seem to always think every season, oh, Paladin was only meta because it had sack and it had this and it had that. When it's like, no, Paladin did a shit ton of damage. And because it had X utility, it lets you do certain pulls differently for that comp. It's always very interesting how people overrate the value of utility and keys. People fixating on utility are the ones who wouldn't even know how to use that. Yeah, that's maybe true. Yeah, I just find it funny how people think utility is super important when it's really just kind of like oh, we have this in this comp of highest damage specs. Nice. Let's figure out how to use it. Because your utility needs Brez and Lust as if none of the rest of their kit is funny to me. Yeah, I mean, if you look, like, Tiger's Lust is going to be valuable this season, right? Does that mean you're going to have to play Monk? No. Does it mean you have to play Paladin? No. Right? They're both going to have some value, but you're not going to explicitly play those classes because they have it, you know? Argument against Chili Disc Priest doesn't even have a kick. Still meta over Pound Evoker. Yeah. So I'm sure those same people will tell you, well, not Shadow Meld. What's it called? Mind Soothe is insane utility. Mind Control is insane utility, which, like, it is solid. But, like, Shadow Priest can bring that too, can't they? Why aren't we seeing any Shadow Priests? Classes based on damage profile. Used to actually be classes based on utility. We need to soothe. We need to dispel. Yeah, you just make it work with what owns, basically. You know, what's doing the most damage, what tank can survive the biggest pulls, what healer is blasting or enabling your group to do the most things. Who's giving us buffs? We aren't seeing Shadow Priest because Dorky rated Shadow Priest hidden affix in his latest video. Oh no. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Uncapped Soul Cleave, I agree. Yeah, I think that works. Like, it does work, but then it's like, what is even the point of Spirit Bomb if you uncap Soul Cleave? Like, what is it doing if Soul Cleave is just doing also uncapped AoE? which I don't know. Right? Maybe that's another discussion to be had as well. What would you add to Prot to make it a potential Prot warrior or Prot paladin? Because I mean, like I was just ranting about, like, really, for a tank specifically, if you can live Giga Pulls and you can do a lot of damn, that's it. That's it. Your utility kit is irrelevant. And for a tank spec specifically, doing Giga Dam counts with you buffing the DPS specs, right? So, like, if you're doing a Magus comp, for example, and your options are Prot Warrior and Vengeance, and they're both equally tanky, and Prot Warrior does slightly more personal damage, but Vengeance has the magic buff, guess who's actually doing more damage? It's the Vengeance Demon Hunter, right? So raid buffs, especially from the tank spot, are considered for your damage output in a Mythic Plus environment. But living is also key. If you can't live the pulls, then what's the point of you doing a little bit more damage, right? Like, if Prot Warrior was just an absolute brick wall and Vengeance was paper, then yeah, you would still play Prot Warrior. But Vengeance is very, very durable, and it also buffs mages, so we'll see. Prot Warrior with Ret Paladin Enhance and Resto right now looking real good. I was curious about the Ret Paladin buffs, because I heard Ret Paladin was like kind of meh, and they got those buffs. I'm just not sure how big they are. I don't know enough. Should it really about to make me spam Soul Cleave for every single fight? I mean, you're already kind of doing that, you know? You already kind of just spam Soul Cleave anyways. Mystic Touch? Oh, I'm glad they reverted that, by the way. Like, it was silly to buff the raid buff. That makes no sense. That's not how you should touch it, because it just impacts the tuning of the other physical DPS. People already don't like raid buffs. There's already no way to get like scrolls and stuff for raid buffs. All it does is punish physical DPS for a raid buff that buffs physical damage being stronger than everything else. Tuning Prot Pally is nightmares of dev, either god mode or bottom of the barrel. Yeah, it's tough when a class has this much utility, right? I can see the issue, right? It's just because even though, like, for example, Prot Paladin was like fine, like in raid, for example, durability is like not a problem for any tank in raid, right? They're all fine. Paladin was like not great damage, but because you need to bring a Paladin buff, Prot Paladin buff, or Prot Paladin was picked to bring that Paladin buff because Holy and Ret also weren't in a great spot. That, you know, there is some side bonus if there was a couple spell wardings. Only one of them was really like, I mean, even the Muggsy one is kind of like you can play a slightly different strat and it was totally fine, where you just open the gap a little bit on the first cages and you can just run along that wall. Totally fine. And so, like, you didn't really need spell warding for anything this tier. It was just a little bit nice. Oh yeah, you're talking about that, yeah. Same as Blood Decay and Brew. Yeah, Blood Decay is like, it's already kind of like very, yeah, it's like making it like, that's why I was thinking like to make Blood Decay not Giga OP in raid while being strong in Mythic Plus. I feel it just has to be a talent that's like a choice node with something you don't want to drop in raid, you know? I feel like that's just how they have to play it. Maybe that's true for a lot of these specs. But Og was only good because of its utility. It never really did top damage. That's not true, right? That's only true for this expansion Og in season 1. For the first 2 seasons, Og was very much OP damage-wise. Like Dragonfight season 2, it was by far the highest damage. Dragonfight Season 3, Season 4, it was also very high damage. It was only in the War Within where it got nerfed enough where it wasn't. But even then, it was competitive damage. So, like, yes, even for AUG. Looks have been scuffs for people on... Yeah, that's the thing. You want to look at logs for AUG? Guess what? Yeah, the hooks are fucked. The hooks are terrible, right? So you're not actually seeing the damage. You need someone who fully understands the spec and knows what damage they're missing from logs, what hooks are working, what hooks aren't, and then you can see the value of AUG. And even then, it's a little, like, estimated, right? So, like, yes, AUG was taken for damage, 100%. YVH is good. It's a brain dead class, doesn't require a lot of brain cells to code into tune. It doesn't have complex things like stagger, blood decay healing. Are those really complex
I'm
though?
gonna be AFK putting together a cabinet. Just let me know if anything changes. I'll have my headset on.
Surely Banchers will leave load screen jail soon. I don't know if I would say I mean, like, blood DK's healing is just the same as everyone else's healing. You know what I mean? It's just healing. I wouldn't call any of those things complex. For example, right now, I think Brew's in a good spot in Mythic Plus, and it's not Giga OP in rates. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what you're saying they have issues with. But, like, I would say that's exactly where Brew is right now, right?
I cleaned up my live bank a little bit, but my character's still bricked, I think.
Not like this. Blood decay heals too little, dead heals too much. I don't think that's how blood decay works either, though, right? Like in Mythic Plus, it has nothing to do with how much the blood decay is healing. You will always heal up the damage if you're playing correctly, right? The problem is, does the damage kill you before you heal? That's blood decay's problem, right? It has nothing to do with the amount of healing going out. They always just have enough healing if they're taking damage because their healing scales with damage taken. It feels like their issue this expansion has been heals that scale with attack power not being well, or not doing well, or things that scale with, like, your primary, right? That is what stagger, right? Stagger scales with agility, I'm pretty sure. How do you buff Brew to make it great in Mythic Plus and not Giga Bust in Raid? That's what I'm saying. That's what Brew is literally right now on PTR. It's very good in Mythic Plus. It's not Giga OP in Raid. That's exactly what Brew is. And they did that by introducing a bunch of talents, which you may or may not want in a Raid environment. Ah, I'm stuck. Here we go. How do you make it meta? Like, Brew can't be broken for Mythic Plus and not for... What do you mean? I mean, Brew could be meta if it's just a bunch of Fizz DPS that are good, right? And if Brew is, like, durable enough, it seems like, that it can tank the keys. But if all of a sudden it's a bunch of caster DPS that are good, then why would you play a Brew? Unless it specifically is the only one that is Giga defensively, which it's not. There's a lot of factors, right? It's not just the tank specs output, though that is a large amount of the factors. Can't believe it took the better part of a decade to get some hots added to brew to help smooth staggers. So finally, someone other than Poke can play in higher keys. Yeah, the hots, yeah, the stagger scaling at low health, I think, is a little thing. Is something a lot of people are using too. Just want to tell mages to fuck off for a tier. You can't do that. And the mages are the hero spec, man. They're not allowed. They're in. It takes a lot of upfront damage. At some point, they get one shots. How do they fix that? Because if they make them take less damage, they will never die. That's what I'm saying, though. It's like my point was that you were talking about healing, and that's not the issue, right? That is the issue. It's the upfront damage stuff, right? And so it's like when the bulk of your damage intake is coming from melees, and you don't have infinite rune weapon uptime to parry everything, right? So like, how do you make it so that they're durable in Mythic Plus and not Giga OP in Raid? And my answer was a choice node talent was something you don't want to drop in Raid. Right? You make it so that you have to choose between the Raid throughput and the Mythic Plus throughput. What exactly that talent is, I don't know. I'm stupid, right? But I think that is how you would solve that issue. You have to make them choose between the Mythic Plus and the Raid talent. Which I think is fine. I mean, that's the whole point of choice nodes, in my opinion, right? Do things that are relevant to different abilities, aka different forms of content or whatever, or different builds in the same node, because you don't want them to have access to both.
Hello.
I finally get to.
Blood is a lot of
I'm trying to
damage
log into
reduction
PTR for
buttons.
2 hours.
Making sure you had
Yeah, I've
one
been
up
trying
at
to
any
log
given
in for
time and
3
adjust them
weeks,
to
so,
rotation help.
Wait. Oh, well, yours problem's not the same as mine.
I still can't copy it.
Oh.
Well, my new problem is I think they fixed the bank, and my void storage and my bank are a mess, and I feel like that's breaking it. So I cleaned it up a little bit, but I think I need to like do a deep clean, and then I lost interest.
Rosie, your character is still just online. Just so is mine, by the way. My druid is still just online, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Blood is a lot of
Now
damage
that I think about
reduction
it, this is probably why
buttons.
they took so long to put it on the servers.
That's true.
It was probably just this.
Oh yeah, when the banks break, I'm probably gonna lose a whole bunch of shit. Banchers, you only know a small fraction of what is in my banks, but you can imagine the rest.
Yeah, all right.
I just have characters and characters just full of shit. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it?
it again. You're like inside of it. You're definitely outside of it though.
There we go. There's a lot of damage reduction buttons. Would making sure you have one up at any given time adjust? I mean, it would, but it's not feasible necessarily, right? And like some of them aren't good enough, right? Like on its own, is Vamp Blood always good enough? Not necessarily, right? Blood Tap has an opportunity cost of actually one, pathing to it in the tree, you're spending the talent points for it, and also it costs you runes. So is it actually that beneficial for you? Obviously, if you help you survive a one shot that you would have died otherwise, yes, but a lot of times it doesn't. And so you're just losing by playing Rune Tap. I still think Rune Tap has uses, but it has a cost, right? And then outside of that, like you just don't have enough damage reductions to always make sure you're living, which is why I was talking about how I would preferred for the Deathbringer thing for them to keep it as Dancing Rune Weapon or make it Dancing Rune Weapon CDR as opposed to Bone Storm. And it'd be 100% chance instead of the 25% chance it used to be. I think that's better. But they're still messing around with the Bone Storm thing. I'm not a big fan of it. It is what it is. Patch date, bank change. Oh yeah. The bank changes. Oh baby. Oh baby, the bank changes are gonna fuck up the servers. Added fairly Death Strike. Yeah, but then you're just making a Demon Hunter again. You know what I mean? Like there should be differences between specs. I am a fan of not making all specs the same. Like, that's why people are like, oh yeah, they should give all the tank specs an AoE silence. No, they shouldn't. They should not do that. They don't need to make every tank the same. I am a fan of making them different and function differently, and obviously that makes it more complicated to balance, right? I do not envy Blizzard, the Blizzard balancing team. It's a tough job. This game is so fucking complicated, right? I don't have a mount? Should get every tank a Brez, and that's a hill I'll die on? Eh. Technically, every tank does have a Brez. I don't have it. Oh, this guy has one. Engineering thing. Now it's usable by everyone. Boom. Everyone has a Brez. Buff drums, I beg. Blood DK gets a self-res? That would be kind... Dude, imagine a self-res choice node with Purg? Obviously, Purg is just kind of better because you don't die in the first place. But, like, self-res would be funny. Imagine you're... Or remember that thing where they used to turn an ally into a ghoul? What if they could just resurrect themselves as a ghoul? Go. So, yeah, self-res is a zombie? Yeah, let's go. Self-res to get mail? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just take Purg every time over self-res. But, yeah, it's funny. It's thematic. It's funny looking. Yeah, no one would take... It would be dumb to take self-res over Purg. It would be funny, though. The best DPS classes? I could not tell you right now. I'm stupid when it comes to DPS. I mostly do tank stuff. But, ranged or something, you know? Take self-res. Do self-res would be OP. Yeah. I think it's pugs without me. That's scary. Scared. Self-res with a new talent lets you eat your dead allies for a buff. Holy. Red Paladin songs are up. Yeah. The buffs seem nice. We don't really have a lot of rep paladins in our guild though, so they aren't telling us how good they are now. I've been saying, guys, listen. Prop paladin stonks down. Boomkin stonks down. Ret stonks up. That means Guardian stonks up. Let's go. Air gang. Blood DK self-res where you press it and it logs you out and logs your VD agent instead. That's a crazy talent. Yo, sign me up. Why would red stonks up bring Guardian stonks up? No, red stonks up and prop paladin stonks up means that slot maybe fills. You don't need the prop paladin buff for the tank, right? And then boomkin stonks down, plus the fact that you maybe have a tank slot. That brings Guardian stonks up. So that's how Ret somehow brings Guardian stonks up. You see what I'm saying? By making Paladin stonks down, it brings Guardian stonks up. It's a trickle down effect. Pressure is crazy good right now. Oh yeah, for keys. I was talking about raid mostly. Yeah, I was talking about raid for that. For keys, yeah, Lamau. I'm not forgetting Resto Druid for keys. Resto Druid's good for keys. I don't know about Resto Druid in raid though. I'm not convinced. Who knows? R Druid S Priest Mage DHX. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I know it was Frost DK, but they also got nerfed today too, right? Frost DK was fucking owning.
Great tactics. I was checking a stream just now, and Frosty K's giga topping.
Yeah, dude, it's owning. Frost DK good. DK class ability to not get the deserter, but ooh, that's a good talent. Yeah. You can leave as many groups as you want, and it's allowed because DKs are toxic anyways. Toxic class, baby. Let's go. Can Guardian Bubble do prog mechanics though? It's overrated, I think. Like I don't actually think any of the like Paladin was not really needed, I don't think, the prop Paladin this season. You know what I mean? Like the sprocket job, anyone can do that. The bubble was kind of irrelevant. It was just to stop you from getting knocked, right? If you look at Wombats, let's go. What's up, Wombat? Big Prime, my goat, my Wombat rather. What else was I? Muggsy, the spell ward to stop the thing, easily fixed by just moving the cage slightly to the left and giving you a line. Totally irrelevant. Gallywix, many other, like you could have run double prop warrior and they could have done that, right? The bombs, like it's not hard to do the bombs on like basically any tank spec. You lost an external in P2 for one of your squishier players, right? That's like the biggest thing, but like they're really, you just have to shuffle your what's it called, shuffle your externals around to actually make it work, you know what I mean? So it's like Paladin this tier, the only reason it was brought, it was not damage, its damage was bad, right? It was only brought for Paladin buff, straight up. All the other tangential benefits, it was kind of like mid this tier. Like it was not a notoriously good prop Paladin utility tier. So you definitely don't need it. Any thoughts on Blood Decay currently? Is Sand Lane still good, or are they just ignoring nerfing us constantly for the lulz? It does seem like they're getting collateraled a lot. Yeah, it's interesting. Interesting for sure. Oh. Okay. I mean, I think it's still fine, especially for raid, right? I'm pretty sure it's still Sand Lane favored for raid. I might be a little outdated on my Blood DK stuff. It's been like a couple builds since I played, or I mean, I guess I played it like pre-Monday, but I don't Mythic Raid or do Keto over 12s other than Vegeta. Then you're totally fine. Yeah, like Blood DK, like there is one good thing about this season for both Blood DK and Paladin, and it's that the dungeon damage intake this season is moving a little bit away from pure melee damage. And there's a bunch of bolt guys in like 3 of the dungeons, and then a bunch of like tank debuffs that are magic, so you can AMS, or bleeds, so you can just kind of sustain through them and parry applications. And so that is beneficial to both Blood DK and Prop Paladin. So there is that, right? So you're going to feel a little bit better in keys because of that. And so yeah, I think both Sand Lane and Deathbringer are just fine for doing like 12s and stuff, and even Mythic Raid, even though you're not Mythic Raiding. It does feel a little bit bad in keys to like lose A-Bomb's limb for grouping and to like lose or to have a nerfed AMZ, but it is what it is. VDH stuff that just deletes your character if you die within 2 seconds of a bull. Oh, dude, so many VDHs would be deleted. Holy, they're just gone. Just all of them. I'm gonna go knock out Galley. Good luck. Good luck, I believe. Racer World first tank comps. I mean, it's still early, I would say. Like, especially if you look at the tuning that they did today, right? Like this could have just impacted the tank comp, right? Like, unironically, like I was memeing about like Guardian being meta, but like them bringing down Lightsmith Paladin, bringing up Rhett could unironically make it so that you don't run prop Paladin and you get your Paladin buff from Rhett. And then that opens up your second tank spot. Do you bring a prot warrior, which maybe you're already planning to bring a prot warrior? Who knows? You bring a brewmaster, right? Like this could unironically make it so that you're much more likely to do like brew prot warrior, or like technically, I mean, I think I don't know how down bad Boomkin is. To be fair, like I actually don't know how down bad Boomkin is, but if they're really down bad, you could play Guardian unironically for the Druid buff. So it's hard to say. I could have an actual answer or guess or whatever like 2 weeks from now when they do like at least another set of tuning, maybe 2 sets of tuning. But like with how substantial this tuning is, like it's up in the air. I know a DH that would be deleted. Yeah, it's me. Hello, it's me, the deleted DH. It's still not good. I have no idea. I assume it's fine. Guardian Druid does fucking 6 single target though. And so the question is, would you be better off playing the best damage spec or a feral druid, right? And I don't know how far behind feral is. It could very well be that you're just fine playing feral because the gap between them and the best spec is not much. But with Guardian being very similar to the highest tank damage output in single target, you're not really losing much by playing Guardian. Retail hardcore, that would be insane. Yeah. Mythic Plus group in hardcore, you lose someone to like a random bolt, they're just dead forever. Holy. Even with all the doing, I was looking to main bear in T3. Let's go, bear gang. Bear gang. Hey, listen, I think Druid of the Claw in keys, his stonks are up. I mean, they did just buff EC, so maybe not anymore, but Druid of the Claw, very hype. Hardcore CET, that would go crazy. Yeah, you get 1 pull per boss. What are those invulnerability potions? You just got to stock up on like 17 billion of those, and then if you ever just die to a mechanic, you're donezo. Yeah, unfortunate. Would you die in the D100 intro? You might. I mean, you die in the Death Knight intro, right? But that's like the whole bit. You're dead anyways. Is the Brewmaster change going to knock it down? You mean like this? The Mystic Touch change? No. I wouldn't say this really has any impact. I think all the Brewmaster changes on the PTR are like net positive for the spec. Like you're feeling tankier. You're doing more damage. Brew's in a good spot. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Brew. I mean, I think Mistweaver's fucking sick too. So maybe you actually don't see Brew in the race. But Brew's solid in Raids and Mythic Plus. You could always try tomorrow if you're around like earlier tomorrow, Bench. I think I'm busy as of like 6. He's at like 6 or something tomorrow, but I'm around earlier.
Sure, I actually have no problem or no plans tomorrow at all. So I could play like what we could say like 3, 2.
Yeah, 2 or 3. Yeah, that works. Be around.
Sure.
Shaman Tank. Dude, where's Shaman Tank? Give me Shaman. Dude, if they don't announce Shaman Tank on, what is the 19th?
I'll try and like, maybe I'll go through a Giga Deep clean tonight on my bank. Just completely clear every item.
Surely it fixes it. Can I'm going to see if I can log into my Druid, actually. I'm going to see if my bricked character can be logged into. Try. What was it? Oh, Shaman, dude. Yeah, if they don't announce Shaman Tank on the 19th, I'm rioting. I'm mad. Okay? I'm fucking mad. Warlock Tank? Okay, listen. I'll accept another tank spec, but if it's not Shaman, I'm still kind of mad. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're announcing Tinker and there's a tank spec. Like, fine. I accept Blizzard. I'm a little pissed. You know? I need my Earth tank archetype. Yeah. I think it's not gonna work. Yeah, Shaman Tank, I take all my sick days at once and vacation and play it. Dude,
close my eyes, I can still see the loading screen.
Let's Oh yeah, this character's free. I'm gonna need to free my druid or something. But yeah,
I
no,
mean, my
need
only
Earth
worry is that when
archetype.
the patch goes live, this is also a problem.
Yeah, I mean, thank God. I mean, no, we have to do our Mythic Zero world. I guess they're weekly. It's fine. We cannot play the first day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I need my Earth archetype, my Earth tank archetype. They don't exist. Also, Bloodlust on a tank would be low-key sick. Let's go. Onk on a tank. Let's go. Well, we were just talking about the self-res. Yo, we got self-res as a tank now. Let's go. It's sick. The third DH spec isn't a DH spec. The DH are going to teach shamans to use warglaives, and then the Ellie shamans turn into a ranged tank. Holy.
Probably
Holy.
not. I feel like you can't trade any of the pieces. Wait, what's the initial item level? You know?
I don't know.
It's champ.
It's whatever's in the
one?
journal.
It's champ 1, I think.
Is that tradable? Is that, I think that's 681.
Okay.
And it can get upgraded past what we can have, but you can still trade the raw.
That would be hype if you could trade the base item, actually.
And the problem is everyone wants my Hall's trinket.
Oh, isn't it? Wait, no, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't. It should be too high for us, I think, right? Because it's plus 39. This tier. It's not plus 26. It's plus 39. I mean, I'm logging in on a real character now.
Yeah, it might barely be above. I mean, it's the low tier versus the high tier, which makes me think it's possible.
I do really want them to just drop some new specs in the new expansion, though. I'm down to not get a new class if we get some new specs. Oh, it is 681. Tradable, baby.
Yeah, that's gonna be. Yeah, maybe we should actually have groups.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely should.
It's only
have.
6 dungeons because Tazvesh is not allowed.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I could probably do on all my alts too. And then like anything that drops in my Boomkin or my Monk run, I just completely trade.
Yeah, like all the trinkets that are important should have funnel groups at the very least. That's like halls. You want the Eco Dome trinket, the mastery one? I know it's undertuned relative to the halls
I
one
think
right
I would
now.
take either one, but I would prefer the Halls one. I think that one from Eco Dome's probably better than my House of Cards if I get it like 2 upgrades past it or something.
Yeah. Imagine on Sham Tank you pull you overpulled both sides, you press Earth Elemental and yeah, exactly, dude. An AoE taunt on a pet is low-key good as a tank if you have full control over it, right? Like low-key, it's like kind of nice. It's just awful when you don't know what's happening. Hunter tank spec? Dude, yeah. Imagine if they made survival a tank spec. You're just fighting with a spear along with your pets. That'd be sick. You seen the spec cons of Earth? I think so. Yeah, I think I've seen that one. But yeah, I'm so down. I mean, they already have like a Season of Discovery tank spec, right? Like, where is it? Season of Discovery Shaman tank. Here. It's like Earth and Fire or something, right? Well, yeah, what's the Earth Warder or something is what I hear people like talking about, like a name or some Earthbound, Earth Warder, you know what I mean? But yeah, some Earth-based tank spec need. It's like the only obvious archetype that Blizzard is missing of tanks, you know?
Were you guys talking
I guess
about trying to
a pet
Earth
tank.
Read Eastern tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you around then?
I think so.
I guess they're missing a pet tank and a range tank. I don't know.
All right, well, on that note, I'm gonna hop off.
Okay, bye.
See ya.
Good try. See you guys later.
I don't know how a range and a pet archetype would work without being Giga OP. I mean, I guess like if you and your pet just kind of shared damage or something, but it's like essentially stagger but reskinned. I mean, it's kind of what Ox does, right? A little bit. So I guess that'll be fine, but I think a range tank probably wouldn't be good. That'd probably be not allowed. What happened? Oh. We had a shaman tank. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, in like Rookery or something, there's a shaman tank, right? And everyone's like, "Dude, they're gonna add shaman tank." I'm with it. Give me shaman tank immediately. What do you think about monk buff being reverted? I think it's good. I think it's silly to buff raid buffs for no reason. It would just make the Fizz DPS feel bad. I'm down with it going back down. Honestly, delete raid buffs. Amen. You know that. Bring back scrolls. Buff drums. There you go. Get Misha in there. True. Yeah. Rexar gang. Yo. I know you were talking about races earlier. Stop banning allied races. Allied races are kind of cool though. Whatever race Rexar is, yo, that race is sick, right? He's what, half ogre, half orc or something? Yeah, that's sick. Give me that. Let me play Rexars. Let me be a little Rexar guy. Town right now where misdirecting your pet gives it a Giga DR for 5 seconds. That would be kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I think you could make the pet tank gameplay work. I'd be down. So yeah, they're missing 2 archetypes then. Pet tank and earth. What? Because maybe there's more, but like those are the 2 obvious ones. Obviously, like Tinkerer, mech stuff. So that's, I don't know. That's more like a transformer, which is just what Guardian 2 is, right? Guardian is 2. It's just a reskinned transformer tank, you know. Rexar is a Magcar orc survival hunter. No, I thought he's like a half ogre, half orc. Let's Google, guys. Let's do lore lessons. What race is Rexar? Rexar is a half ogre, half orc. Machnath. Oh, that's what they're called. Machnathal. They're called the Machnathal guys. Yeah. Ooh, you got it. Yeah, boom. He's like a thick, yellowy skinned orc guy. Rexar is a T-Rex. That would go hard if I could be a T-Rex. Yeah, no, that's why I corrected myself. Bring back scrolls and buff drums. That's what we need. A 2-headed freak looking thing. He's only got 1 head. Okay. A Void Rider spec? I don't know. Shamans don't feel really voidy, you know? The voidy Demon Hunter spec I can get behind. I don't know about a Shaman Void spec. He's a beast. Oh, true. Beastmaster. That's the name. Beastmaster tank spec, baby. Beastmaster tank spec. I love tank shaman, tank warlock, and rogue. Look, a plague doctor rogue. Would that fit better in like Death Knight though? You know, like make a Death Knight healer spec where you're like plague doctory. Because I feel like you could fit Bard as a single spec into rogue. That would kind of make sense, right? Because Bard's a rogue archetype anyways. Yeah, I'd be down for tank warlock. Again, I'm kind of meh on it. I feel like tank warlock is already kind of like blood DK a little bit. I guess if you're saying it's like a pet archetype or a transformer, because it's a right? You demon form, but like it's like we have guardian for that. And if we're doing another transformer archetype, I low key kind of prefer Tinker. Rogue tank would have to be built around dodges, their mitigation. I think that's what they are on Season of Discovery. They're like a dodge tank, but it's like Brewmaster kind of is already right there as a dodge tank, you know. So I don't really care for a rogue tank, to be honest. I think definitely Shaman tank is like my number 1. But this Beastmaster tank idea is definitely intriguing. I'm low key down, and obviously Tinker tank. I'm in a mech suit. I'm down. But still, give me Shaman tank for sure. That's my number 1. My number 1 on the wish list is Shaman tank. Tank that generates no, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm saying like the idea for Tinker Tank is essentially just a Transformer tank archetype, which is just Guardian, and same with the Season of Discovery Warlock. That's just a Transformer tank, so it's just a reskin Guardian. Both of them are, right? I could get down with Tinker because it's like low-key sick as fuck, and you could do some other mechanics with it, right? If you're actually just not transforming, as technically, but it does scream Transformer. Like that's what I've been saying too, yeah. But I could get down with it because Tinker's kind of cool. But I definitely I want the Earth tank archetype, and I think I do want that Beastmaster tank more. A pet tank is cool too. How does Shaman not feel like Prot Pal or Prot Warrior though? That's a good question. Well, I mean, like their mitigation would have to be fundamentally different, right? Like they would be able to block, but because they'd be agility based, right? So they'd be more of a block dodge hybrid in my eyes compared to Paladin, which is like a block parry hybrid, and Warrior, which is all in on block essentially. I don't know, you mess around with like the earth elements and like shielding with the earth. Maybe do some hybrid stuff where you can shield allies. Yeah, you got the totems, whatever the totems are doing. You can mess around with the totems. You got the elementals you're spawning as well. I think you can make it pretty distinct. Show tank as a community until we have enough tanks. Yeah, I mean, I think thematic, yeah, for sure, but also like a lot of people just either don't have fun playing tanks, they don't want the responsibility, etc., which I think is a large part of the issue too. But if you made more cool tank specs, I think you would attract more players. But I think it is like a two-pronged issue, right? Like you need more cool tank specs that people want to play, and you also need to make it less stressful to be a tank. Environmental spec that uses things like walls to bounce stuff off to do damage. Or dude, what if you're like making earth walls and shit? That would be kind of cool too. Yo, what's up, Cynic? How's it going, my friend? Test Guardian already after the buffs. I have not. My Guardian Druid's bricked right now. A lot of characters are getting bricked. We think it's having to do with the bank stuff. Because it's like all characters, like Banter's got bricked on his main character. I got bricked on my Druid, which was my main for forever. Wagon's Mage was his main. And with the banking changes, I think that's what bricked those characters. So we're going to try tomorrow for the Guardian Druid stuff. But like the Guardian Druid tier set was bad. The EC one, I'm surprised it got nerfed. The 2.5 times buff is definitely nice. It brings it up a bit. We'll test it. But I don't think it's that great still, even with the 2.5x buffs. It's just like a fine tier set instead of a terrible one now. I'm still kind of sad. Like, I think the Lunation CDR was a cooler way for the tier set to be good than just passive dam. You know, I'm so frustrated at all these passive dam, never think about it, never change your rotation tier sets. It's so annoying. Your tier set should change up how you think or how you play or what you spec into, in my opinion. And the Guardian tier sets just haven't. I love seeing anything new. Evoker was a nice addition to the game. Yeah, new stuff is always cool for sure. Like I'm kind of hyped for the new DH spec if it's real. I'd love to see some new specs for a lot of classes in the new expansion. Shaman being the first to sure. Yeah, minus all things completely, but it's not like there are a ton of tank options compared to how many. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's definitely way less options. Well, we only got 6 tanks. We got 7 healers. Is that what you got? We got 7 healers. You could up the healer numbers too. Mage healer. It's a cool idea. The timing stuff, but that's kind of Pres Evoker, right? With bronze magic. I don't know. What other healer archetype? Oh, we were talking about the Deathbringer. Or not Deathbringer. The Plague Doctor healer archetype. Or like a Bard healer archetype. Could work. Sean being the first to change fight area would probably be the only way to make them unique. Summons elemental, gives DR, breaks LOS. Oh, breaking LOS. I mean, hunters do that, right? They have that arrow, I think, that can break LOS, or the owl or something. But yeah, that would be cool. Someday Druid of the Claw will do some game-changing experience for Druid. I mean, you do have the cat weaving option. That, like, it may be, like, way simpler than it used to be back in Shadowlands and stuff, but it is still cat weaving technically, right? Like, you do still get a DPS benefit for using Rake, Rip, and Shred. Chloromancer. Oh, is that like plant stuff? I don't know, actually. No, I don't know anything about it, but I mean, technically you have like Resto Druid, which is very planty. You know what I mean? Elk Healer. Yeah, I think that's like the Plague Doctor idea. It's like more like an alchemist type thing. But you could like skin it as like being a Death Knight spec, for example. Or a rogue spec even. I guess, yeah, it would work if it's more alchemy themed, but there's also the alchemy profession. Warrior healer, let's go. Yeah, I'm so down. Ever since people were like, I mean, when they introduced AUG, I was like, yo, if there was some support specs, low-key a warrior spec that just yells and throws down banners would go hard. But obviously, it seems like they may be abandoning the support spec thing. Not as good as Shadowlands. We have the, yeah, honestly, like Druid of the Claw, and what it's missing is one Convoke, which like you will never pick as long as it's a choice node within Karn, right? Convoke needs to be back in the class tree. That would help with cat weaving. That would make it cooler again. 2, Adaptive Swarm low key was also an interesting thing. Imagine if they put both Adaptive Swarm and Convoke in the class tree. You could grab both. That would be so sick for cat weaving. Like actually so sick. And that has nothing to do with Druid of the Claw, you know? New Spectre and new class, though, big agree. Yeah, like, I feel like, again, the only archetype people keep yelling about is Tinker, which, like, it's kind of cool. I could get behind it, but again, it feels very druidy to me, but just mech. It's just a mech druid, you know? So maybe you just give goblins and mechanomes and gnomes the ability to be druids and you give them mech forms instead. But yeah, outside of that, I would definitely rather see specs. Crit banner, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Crit banner, drill sergeant warrior, yeah, exactly. Give druids a mage saber. True. What's that? Goodberry? Is that D&D spell? Yeah, Goodberry. Just push of berries. Let's go. Race swap and instant. Yeah, dude, yeah. A gnome druid where you just transform with like mechs would be sick. Goblin god druid for panda druid. Add panda druid too. The panda forms, dude. Imagine you just turn into like an actual vicious looking panda bear as your bear form. That would go sick. You could heal as a warrior, just yell. Yeah, you're instead of ignore paining yourself, you're yelling at other people to ignore the pain. I'm with it. Which tank would be good for the next raid? It's tough to say. I mean, I don't think in general, I think raiding all the tanks are fine. Like they're much closer if comparing like CE, for example, to title. Like you see like every single tank. Yeah, both, but the proportion is much higher in raid. Like the split is much more even. You know what I mean? And so it's going to be like the most popular one is going to be largely dependent on DPS and healer tuning to fill raid buffs for sure. But like, I think in terms of like who's doing a lot of damage, Guardian's doing a lot of damage, but you're probably not going to see many of them. Just because it's not a super popular spec. Prot Warrior's doing a ton of damage like they are this tier. I think that's probably going to be pretty popular. Brewmaster Monk is looking really solid in keys and also solid in raids, so it's probably also going to be pretty popular. But I don't think any specs are bad in raid right now. A dog hair in my mouth. Waiting for Volpera. Volpera Druid also would go hard. I think I'd prefer Panda Druid, but I can see the Volpera Druid forms also being kind of unique. The Celestial Spirit. That's true. Yeah. I was also talking about a 4th monk spec right? You perma give Mistweaver Chi G. You know what I mean? Like that's just their celestial. And you take Yulon and you give Yulon to like a caster monk spec where you just like are shooting out chi balls and shit. That'd be sick. And obviously you can keep like the Yulon effect for Mistweaver and you can make that like a choice node, but it's still just skinned as Chi G. You know? You don't have to just only give them the Chi G thing. I think that would be sick. Like make Yulon like a caster based monk spec. Kamehameha people, you know? I don't know if but does Bear have to be uber broken to be meta because of Boomkin? Not necessarily. Boomkin could just be shit, you know? And Boomkin keeps getting nerfed. But what you need to look at basically is like, is the loss of playing Boomkin versus the next spec greater than the loss of like playing Guardian versus the best tank spec? And how beneficial is the damage niche of Boomkin? That's what you need to look at. There is a bit of spread AoE and spread cleave this patch, this raid, so potentially it's good, but it's like Shadow Priest also exists. So what's the difference between Shadow Priest and Boomkin in that regard? And what's the difference between like Guardian and Prot Warrior in terms of damage output? And if it outweighs it, you could just play Guardian optimally and play a Shadow Priest, right? Survive utility damage besides meta tank. No, it depends on what you're talking about. I would say in raid, all of them are tuned to survive. So it's damage and raid. It's raid buff and then damage essentially in raid. For keys, survivability is definitely number one. I don't think utility is relevant. Low key, utility is like bottom totem pole. Doesn't really matter. Because if you're looking at it, it depends how you classify raid buffs. I classify them as damage generally. Because for example, one, you need to be able to live the pulls, right? So that's always the number one thing for keys. Two, it's whoever just does the most damage and you just figure it out with the utility you have. So like if you look at a caster comp, for example, and you're comparing a Prot Warrior and a Vengeance Demon Hunter, and they can both live the pulls, but Prot Warrior does way more personal damage, but Vengeance Demon Hunter brings 3% to your magic buffers. Guess who's actually doing more damage? It's the Vengeance, right? And so, because of that, you're playing the Vengeance because of their damage, not because of their utility. So yeah, I'd put damage above utility in that for keys, but yeah, it's otherwise, yeah. Dragon Ball Z, that's what I'm saying. Dude, a Dragon Ball Z monk spec would go crazy hard, right? That would go crazy hard. Emerald Dream would have been the patch to allow more classes to be druid or more races. Yeah. Yeah. I think they could still do it, obviously, but yeah, it's a lot of artwork, right? Like it's a lot of work on their end, more work than any other class because they have to make the druid form rigs, right? I would say raid buff is utility though, which is mom. I mean, I think it depends, right? Like if you're looking at Battle Shout, Mystic Touch, Chaos Brand, that's not utility. That's just damage. You know what I mean? If you're looking at Diva Aura, sure, I would say you could say that's utility. But I think the raid buffs that grant damage count as damage when you're ranking tanks in Mythic Plus. Because if, for example, let's say, just for argument's sake, Havoc Demon Hunter replaced DK in the current meta comp. Like the DPS DK is now a Havoc Demon Hunter. All of a sudden, the damage benefit from bringing Vengeance is now minus that raid buff because you're already bringing a Havoc Demon Hunter. So now when you're considering what tank you're bringing, and you're now comparing the fact that your Vengeance Demon Hunter is buffing 0 people, but your Prot Warrior, who already did more damage, is now buffing your Havoc. If they can both play the same things, you will just not play Vengeance, and you would play Prot Warrior in that situation. Right? Like, you would not care about sigils whatsoever. You would play Prot Warrior. Assuming they can both live in that situation. And so, again, I feel like you should I personally am classifying raid buff as damage in that specific situation, which I think is how it should be classified, because you are not considering any mob control. And you are strictly playing the comp that does the most damage because of the raid buffs, but it is the most damage. They only need 4 forms each of the. Hey, it's a lot of work still, though, right? Because you have to make those unique forms for each of the races, and then you also have to rig them. Right? I don't know how much work. I'm an idiot. I don't code, but I, at face value, can see how it would be the most work out of any class. Blessing of Kings or Blessing of Might. I mean, they already have a raid buff, though, right? Devo Aura. Unless you delete Devo Aura, but. Utility is always extra benefits IMO, not what decides what tank you're playing. Yeah, exactly. But again, it just comes down to how we're defining utility. Like, I don't put raid buff in the utility combo or utility umbrella. More accurate than survivability, raid buff for combo damage utility. Yeah, I mean, you're just adding an extra category, right? For me, it's just survivability, damage, and utility, and your damage does reflect your raid buff, right? Like if you're giving a raid buff that gives damage, that just goes in your damage. But yeah, you could put it like that. I think there would be situations where you wouldn't like play a raid buff, and because the damage is lower with the raid buff, right? And then it kind of breaks that, which is why I like to group them together too, right? Because for example, same situation, Vengeance Demon Hunter can survive the pulls, Prout Warrior can survive the pulls, but Prout Warrior does little baby damage, and you're only going to buff one of the DPS specs, and it's actually not better than just playing Vengeance Demon Hunter anyways, and you would still play Vengeance, right? So I grouped them together because it makes sense, I think. Okay, so what's... Yeah, it looks like we're going to be doing keys tomorrow when they hopefully unbrick everything. We're also going to be... Yeah, we're doing PTR stuff tomorrow. We're also going to be pushing. You're pushing, bud. That's to be your next YouTube video. Why you're wrong about utility. I mean, that's something I could do in lulls. I have a very full plate at the moment with YouTube videos with all this patch prep. But that is an idea. I have a couple ideas for like a couple months into the season when things are chill. Like my Guardian Druid rant for midnight has been pushed to then. I could definitely tackle that though. That is a good topic. Okay, but I think we're out, squad. So I think we're just gonna hop off. We're gonna eat some dinner. Just keep working on those videos. Tomorrow at 2-ish p.m. Eastern. That is when we'll be on doing PTR stuff. That is when we're gonna be on doing PTR stuff. Do a little world tour. Try out a few different of the change specs. We'll try out EC Guardian. We'll try out some Templar now that it's bug fixed. We'll try out Mountain Thane, Prot Warrior. We got heard some good things about that. Try that out. Yeah, it'll be tomorrow afternoon. Trying to rope you into video mid-season. Yeah, I'll be down. I will be gone for like a month in the middle of the season. Just as a heads up. But yeah, I'm down otherwise. I would however say if you run a caster comp meta, just in general low kick, so like Science Sigil has huge value, which may put up utility in pref order. I mean, I think you would just find ways to pull other mobs though. You know what I mean? Like, you would find ways to make pulls with less kicks. Like, you do that now already, actually. Like, you would pull comps, and there's a lot of pulls where you are polying and imprisoning casters, even right now. And you would just do more of that. like people talk about how you know, the good old days of polying and imprisoning mobs and doing 3 pulls. It is crazy to me. Like, this is the most you've ever done that in a comp while still giga pulling, because you're just giga pulling mobs that don't cast. That's just the whole bit right now. So you find ways around it. Totemic Arshaman. Oh, true. Yeah, no, some Arshaman healing. You're right. I did say I was gonna do that. Normally YouTube watcher, but helping me get turtles. So thank you. Let's go. Apologies though, because I am about to hop off, but I will send you to someone else. This is the wrong tab. I will send you guys somewhere else so you can continue to get your turtle shell though. Who is streaming right now? We got here we go. Sai is streaming. Send you guys to Sai. Right? Yeah, we're go. How to choose my DPS if I'm in prison zone? It's not meant to be target for the lag. That I don't know. That's they just have to learn when they died to aggro or something. You know, classic. And what you haven't thought? Yeah, of course. Always happy to chat. Yeah, I will be back tomorrow though, squad. We're hopping off for the evening, but I appreciate everyone hanging out. We're gonna do some PDR tomorrow and some 20s probably tomorrow. So we'll see you guys then. Otherwise, go say hi to Sai. Peace.
That's a Loon's chosen keybind, apparently.